Question is this. What about the holding charges which you have charged from some outsider for advertisement and it is on the building of the housing society? Not free. Or there is a mobile tower on the top of your housing society and you are charging rent from that mobile operator. Are you not charging? Am I right? Is it coming from members? That rent which you have received for mobile tower, is it coming from members? The holding charges for advertisement is received from outside. The interest which you have received from bank, is it from members? Answer is no. So should it be taxed or should it not be taxed? We had judgment of Delhi High Court saying this is also mutual character and this will be spent on the mutual activity, so therefore it is not taxable. We had judgment. Shivalik Cooperative Society, we had Chelmsford Club, Delhi High Court giving this judgment. But there was contrary judgment also, Rajpath Club and Madras Gymkhana Club saying no, it is the income not from members, it will be taxable. But doubt was there. Then there is a Bangalore Club. What happened? The Bangalore Club, there are corporate members, there are individual members. You all know that. Bangalore Club made a bank as a corporate member, and deposited the money within bank as FDR. Are you getting my point? And received interest. They say, I have got the interest from members. Who says, wait a minute, is it a member's contribution? No. It is the money which has been invested, which could have been invested in some other bank, you have invested in the member bank. How does it matter? It is the income coming not in capacity of a member, it is coming in capacity of a outside. And there is a judgment now, Supreme Court judgment 350 ITR Bangalore Club, saying that whatever income is received by you from a person other than member shall be fully taxable. So now mutual association, whether it is a club or a housing society or any other society, will have to file a return when and pay tax when. When? Which income? When? How much income exceeds? How much? Depending upon the type of society. If it is a cooperative society, then will you get any exemption? Whatever income you earn from outside, first 10,000, 10%, next 10,000, 10% balance, 30%. But if it is a society registered under the Society Registration Act, then income will be 2,50,000 exempt. Next 2,50,000, 10% and so forth. And if it is a Section 25 company, then income will be 30%. Are you getting my point? Depending upon the type of the mutual association, am I right or not? If the mutual association is a society registered under the Society Registration Act, slab rate, which is applicable even to individuals. If the mutual society is a cooperative society, registered under the Cooperative Society Act, can you apply the normal rate? No, you will have to apply the rate of the cooperative society. And if the mutual society happens to be what? Am I right or wrong? Is it clear that even if the income is of the mutual character, that part is exempt, but the income which they have received on account of interest on bank deposit or on account of any other income, even for a hawker, when he enters the premises, you take a charge from him. Holding charges, mobile tower rent, whatever is it, are you not taking payment for that? It is taxable. It is taxable depending upon the constitution of the society, you will get exemption. Is it clear? First, any question? Yes, sir.
So if the excess of income or expenditure is there in the society, plus they have the interest income from the bank also.
Excess of income from the member is not taxable. Interest part is taxable. Whatever is from mutual activity, you don't have to file the return. Mutual activity excess, no.
Excess of income or expenditure is only the bank interest.
Only bank interest.
Yeah, then
Only bank interest fully taxable as per the rate applicable. If it is interest from person other than member, if it is a money received from other than member, it is taxable. Because of Bangalore Club 350 ITR Supreme Court.
Any expenditure will be claimed against that?
Pardon me?
Expenditure can be allowed?
Do you incur any expenditure for earning interest income on FDR? Do you incur any expenditure? If you have incurred, you claim. In case of rent, what interest you have incurred? Rent. That they do it. That they do it.
No, in our
If you
clubs,
have incurred any expenditure, you will be allowed. I've said you have to tax the income, not the gross receipt. That we have already done it. Any expenditure incurred in earning that income shall be allowed. But when you put a mobile tower, this is not income taxable under house property. If it is taxable under house property, you would have got 30% deduction. Mind it. But it is not house property. Because house property is the building and the land appurtenant thereto. And it is on the rooftop. It's income from other sources and not income from house property. What is it? I told you, na? A deposit with the member. Is it in a capacity of membership or is it a separate thing? That's what I'm saying. Or where from the money will come? If it is not from members, subscription you are receiving, you are not able to spend the whole amount, you are keeping in the bank and earning interest. Is it earned by the members or by the society? Receipt from member is not taxable. Receipt from member is not taxable. But if the receipt is spent for the welfare of the member, I am saying allowed. Is receipt spent for the welfare of the member or if his receipt is deposited in a? Pardon me? Who's the loan? Who? Society has taken a loan. We will get the deduction. Why not? Please. You do one thing. There are one source of income and there is a loss another the source. You can set off. Who stops you? It's a setting off of the loss. We will do that. But wait a minute. I'm going to talk to you something very important. Yes, sir. Pardon me? Obviously, what will be the constitution of the club? Some mutuality you will register as a society, as cooperative society, as section 20. What is your identification? Tell me. What is? Sir, then you are not a registered society. In that case, what will happen? Your income will be taxable as maximum marginal rate. I'll come to that. Wait, 7 category of VOP we have. 7th category I'll put it. Wait and watch. That is covered under section 2 clause 24 and it is income is taxable, mutual benefit. Nidhi companies. So they are all covered under income tax. I'm talking about other than covered under 224. I told you in the beginning. Now I am coming to a very important point, section 28. 28 says, now what is a chamber of commerce? Tell me. What is a trade association? What is FICCI? What is CII? What is association? It's a trade association. Who contribute to that? Members. On whose welfare it is spent? Members. So this is not a mutual association. This is also a mutual association. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Bar council, bar association, medical association. I'm not calling about chartered accountant. Who's it? Who's it? Is it not of the members? But wait, we have section 28 saying that income of a trade association or a professional association or a similar association for rendering specific service to the member shall be taxable under the head profit or gain from business and profession. and which is also covered under 224. Please note the word. Chamber of Commerce, FICCI, CII. We contribute, the traders or the professional contribute. The money collected is spent on the members. No tax. Mutual character. But if this FICCI has a consultancy division, tax division, service tax division, and it gives services to its members and charge money for that. For a mutual character, it is not. But for this trade association or a professional association, that income will be taxable as PGP. You know, many chambers, many this Chamber of Commerce are giving certificate of origin for export of goods. Certificate of origin for export of goods. And they charge fee for that. The fee which is charged for that is not of a mutual character. It is given specific service to its member. Bar association, it is an association of members, but it is a professional association. If this professional association also has certain specific services rendered to the member and charge money for that, that will be taxable, but the mutual character income will not be taxable. This is what is given in section 28. Is this first clear? Then I proceed further. For trade association or professional association, similar association. Club is not a trade association. Club is not a professional association. Club is not a similar association. That's why I told you income of a club is fully exempt unless it is earned from third person. You are rendering services to the members and charging for food, beverages or playing the game. You may be charging certain money, but still that income is mutual character. Why? It is not coming there because it is not a trade association. It's not a professionalism. So we may be charging somebody for swimming pool charges. You want to go for swim. Another member doesn't want. You pay or you don't pay. You pay for that. Somebody wants to play tennis. He may be paying for that. Somebody may be other game. They may be paying. Although the club is rendering specific service. You are eating food there. He is not eating. Rendering specific services. But still it is a mutual character. But in the case of a trade association or the professional association or similar association, certain specific service when rendered, it is not of mutual character, it is taxable. And we have a very important section which nobody has seen, even the students have not seen during those days. It's called as section 44 capital A. Heard of 44 capital A? Anyone heard of 44 capital A? You have heard of 44 AB, I am not denying. You have heard of 44 double A, I am not denying. 44 double A, 44 maintenance of account, 44 AB. What is 44A of the Income Tax Act? Nobody bothers. And that is says, please try to understand what is 44A. There is an income from mutual character, fully exempt. Even if it is excess, it is exempt. But income from trade association for specific services taxable. Income means after expenses, taxable, right? Now suppose collection from members, mutual character, is 5 crore. Amount spent during the year is 5.4 crores. What is this 40 lakh? Had it been a surplus, it would have been exempt if it is a surplus. This is called as deficiency, not deficit. What is called it? Deficiency. There is an excess of expenditure over the receipts. Income was taxable, but about this deficiency, law says, wait a minute. This income was not taxable, income was exempt. Income was exempt. Then deficiency, if there is an income which is exempt, the loss also should be exempt. Am I right or wrong? Where there is a long-term capital gain, it is exempt, and if it is long-term capital loss of the same nature, are you allowed to set off? No, no question. Because income was exempt, any expenditure or loss on account of that will also be not covered. But wait a minute, this deficiency can be set off from the income of this business. What business? Rendering specific service to the member to the maximum extent of 50% of such income. 50%. That means this deficiency 40 lakh. And your income from that specific activity is 60 lakh. How much can be set off? 30 lakhs. Which is a new section. 30 lakh. But it can be set up only in the same year. The deficiency cannot be cared for. This is 44A. Heard of that ever in the life? Nobody bothered. But it is there in the Income Tax Act. It is there in the, not for the last day, but the previous day to this day. I'm talking about many things which you have, many of you have not heard. So this is another issue which I am telling you, 44A is there. Chamber of Commerce are liable to tax. For which income? Earned from members for specific service, not of mutual character. But if their expenditure is more for mutual activity, the deficiency to the extent of 50% can be claimed as set off. And balance you pay tax. At what rate they will pay tax? Depending upon their constitution. Is it a society registered under Society Registration Act? According to that. If it is what you call cooperative society, according to that. If it is Section 25 company, according to that. So I am not concerned. So is it clear about mutual association? What kind of a mutual association system we have? You want to break here? And we can continue after this section? Because we have so many things to talk about.
Private trust, which you have to-
I'll take
because like 44A, many sections we left in choice, right from my student days. So what is the thing in choice was there, so we used to leave, unless compulsory question we read.
Even if no choice, the examiner also does not know about it. So he also does not know, he doesn't ask it. So
Yes.
therefore, please don't worry. There are certain things, but this is exclusively for chamber.
So the
You may not-
private trust and the
We'll go very many things. Private trust, we have
Service
society
agencies,
register
sir.
under Society
Cover.
Registration Act. I have not done. Many other things we'll have after whatever
after
time
lunch,
allotted
after
to me.
lunch, after lunch.
Thank you very much for the
Thank you
patience.
very much. Thank you.
Dear friends, good afternoon. We have a very interesting session will be there post lunch. The impact of the Companies Act, impact of the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. A critical analysis, short but focused one. It will be done by none other than Mr. Ravi, a practicing secretary of repute. I invite him. Please come to the dais. Please give him a big hand. See, one is, they say arm's length, disclosure of interest, transparency. So when you are viewing the Companies Act, when we invite our own chartered accountant friends, probably the unbiased appraisal, whether it is there or not, we may not know. But as a practicing company secretary, when you see it from a length, from a distance, how you feel it, what has got an impact on our profession and all the stakeholders, whether it has got any far-reaching consequences which they never thought of, or whether it is a knee-jerk reaction, certain provisions have been there. So all those aspects to be analyzed by the chartered accountants from the angle of another professionals. And company secretaries and cost accountants, our professional brothers, and they also have a distinct role to play. Sometimes we do feel that we cross our boundaries sometimes the sparks fly, but we are all professional brothers. Only thing is, there should not be any cross-border terrorism by any professional on other. That is the macro picture. Otherwise, everyone has to play a distinct role. Company secretaries are playing a very great pivotal role in terms of statutory compliance, regulatory compliance, all the rules, regulations, and definitely they are specializing in the Companies Act. So when we analyze the Companies Act, yesterday Santana Krishnan, the chairman of the Corporate Laws and Corporate Governance Committee, he has spoken on various issues like rotation of auditors or reporting of fraud reporting, or for that matter, internal controls appraisal, the role of the audit committees, the role of the chairman of the audit committee, the role of the board. But then, viewed from a company secretary's angle, how it is to explain is there. And I request Girishav to hand over a shawl to our B. Ravi sir. I also ask our chairman to present a garland to Ravi.
Vanakkam. On behalf of the SIRC of ICAI, CA PV Rajarajeshwaran thought fit that this is an occasion to remember and also give a thanksgiving statement in the form of kind rather than that of words, which has been expressed in the days of starting up this particular 5-day conferences. The concept of 5-day conferences by itself is something new, and all credit for this particular 5-day conferences goes first to the secretary of the CPE committee of the ICAI, Bansal, and may I now request Bansal to come onto the dais, get recognized. He is the secretary for this entire 5-day conference, the central committee person who is looking after the CPE committee. It is a very big job by itself. I would request the chairman of SIRC to hand over a memento to him. To present, I request CAV Murli to present a shawl to him.
I have presented, daily I am presenting. Yes, sir. And one thing, Mr. Bansal, it's a very sensitive committee in the sense there will be so many grievances people used to. It is linked to professional opportunities. So falling into line with the CPE thing itself is a bit difficult. And many places, at least we have got a professional opportunities. There are so many conferences, seminars. In many places, hilly tracks, there are no forum is there, no organized forums are there. So they also practice. So it is difficult to enforce CPE credit. Here people come, sometimes they come at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, they want write, signing, go, voice signing, tell, register. So many things will be there. For them, there is no forum to attend. That type of things also there. So when we implement, we do it with a compassion. Although some rule will be there, exceptions will be there. There are people who say, we say that self-declaration, that I have gone through the journal, so we are giving, that type of issues are there, some of the seniors. But I have come across seniors, a former central council member, who said, I am not going through the journal because I am in states. I can't do. So we have to take a call. Sometimes people are on maternity leave or some complications. So all those aspects, exceptional cases will come in large numbers. And sometimes the emotions will be there. Always we find in the ground level. So it's a very sensitive committee. He has come here. He has gone through all the arrangements. And daily there will be so many letters. Today also he has come with so many 100-page, 100 letters. He got the signature approval actually all the way. The flight got delayed by 7 hours as such. But one instruction I always give, whatever you do, ultimately no member should suffer. That is the ultimate thing in the council also. We have rule everything. All will discuss rule and all. Finally, when it comes to, if you don't do it, then no, we cannot talk that actually. It's a democracy. We have come in the name of regulation. We will not do beyond a point. Like that, sympathetically, we have to approach all the issues. For that, he is playing a really great service. He has to do night also. He has to sit 12 o'clock. And from the airport, he has to go to the office. That is the scenario as such. Otherwise, enforcing 2 lakhs plus members is a bit difficult. Thank you very much, sir, for having come here. He's going to the airport. Thanks for doing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And நன்றே செய் அதை இன்றே செய் என்ற எண்ணத்தில் எண்ணும் எழுத்தும் நாயகன் திரு ராஜராஜேஸ்வரன் அவருடைய நன்றிதனை திரு வி முரளி அவர்களுக்கு இந்த ஒரு சிறிய மெமெண்டோ மூலமாக தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றார்.
சொன்னது நான் உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Called a self-certification. We ourselves certify that true and fair we have done the job excellently. Thank you very much. ஏன்னா செந்தமிழில் பேசும்போது என்னன்னா யாரு கொடுக்குறோன்னு தெரியாது. நாயகன்னாரு எல்லாம் சொன்னாரு, என்னும் எழுத்தும் நாயகன் எல்லாம் சொன்னாரு, யாரு பெறுவராரு யாரு கொடுக்குறாருன்னு தெரியல. That's why I had a doubt actually. You ensured that whether it
நன்றே செய் அதை இன்றே செய் என்ற எண்ணத்தில் என்றும் எழுத்தும் நாயகன் திரு ராஜராஜேஸ்வரன் அவர்கள் தன் நன்றிதனை முரளி அவர்களுக்கு தெரிவித்துக் கொள்வார் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. Now it is the turn of the Central Committee also. I am representing both the State Committee and the Central Committee as a participant jointly. I would request CAB Murali to kindly give a memento to the Chairman of Rajarajeshwaran who has given this particular forum for us to do this particular conference.
அருமையாக தமிழ் பேசினாரு. ஐ எம் BA தமிழ் லிட்ரேச்சர். கோட்டு சூட்டு போட்டாலும் உள்ளே இருப்பது தமிழ் உள்ளந்தான். மக்களால் மக்களையே வாக்கெடுப்பென்ற தூரிகையினால் வண்ண ஓவியம் தீட்டி எண்ணத்தில் வடித்தெடுத்த கருத்து கருவூலத்தை அதிலே பதித்து உரிமை சுதந்திர வேட்கை எதையும் எப்படியும் சாய்த்து விட வேண்டும் என்ற வேகம் அனைத்தையும் கொண்டதுதான் மக்களாட்சி. அந்த மக்களாட்சியின் நாயகன் தான் நம்முடைய ராஜராஜேஸ்வரன். பாண்டிய நாட்டிலிருந்து தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்டவர். அவருக்கு நன்றி.
நன்றி.
I should thank Murali sir. என்ன காரணம்னா ரொம்ப ஷார்ட் டைம் வந்து இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேட்டுக்கிட்ட போது அது இமீடியட்டாக ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு 2-3 மணி நேரம் உட்காந்து இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் எல்லாத்தையும் ஆர்கனைஸ் பண்ணி எல்லா ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸையும் வர வச்சு இந்த அளவுக்கு நல்லபடியாக நடத்தி கொடுத்ததுக்கு வந்து நான் சாருக்கு தான் நன்றி சொல்லணும். நன்றி சார்.
Now I request CAB Murali to honor the Secretary of SIRC of ICAI, CA Kota Srinivas, who has come all the way from Bangalore for this particular conference.
But he is a very dynamic secretary. Another thing, you always have punchlines like Rajinikanth, no? From Karnataka, Rajinikanth has come, he used to have a punchline in the movies. Like that, you will always have punchlines. So silently I try to take violating the Copyrights Act and I will use it liberally locally actually whenever he is not there. And I used it one in Bangalore without knowing he used it. He said, Murali sir already used it, but actually I borrowed from him. He is such a man, he is a feeder mechanism for me actually. Thank you very much.
Thank you sir. Over to CAB Murali.
Dear friends, Mr. B. Ravi, who is the speaker, is a familiar figure to many chartered accountants. And in fact, many chartered accountants feel he is a chartered accountant. If we don't introduce, people will think he is a chartered accountant. He has not come. Why morning session you not attended for CPE credit? They will ask him. But the real truth is that he is a practicing company secretary and he is a sought after faculty in the subject company law. He used to take classes here and people used to take tuitions. And in fact, the surplus, the corporate law paper, they will get it, which will set off against the organization management, other dry papers. And this man has contributed for many students becoming chartered accountants. He is a fellow member in practice of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India and the past chairman of SIRC of ICSI. Earlier, he has been secretary of the SIRC of ICSI and council member of SIRC of ICAI for 3 terms. And he is the chairman of the Professional Development Committee of ICSI for the past many years. He had served with the Sanmar Group in different capacities for more than 2 decades. And he has a rich and varied industry experience. And at present, he is an advisor to leading companies in company law matters besides practicing as a company secretary. The spark of academic brilliance in him shown at an early age, an alumni of the University of Madras, He has passed his graduate degree and masters in business administration with a creditable first class from there. He is also techno-savvy and diploma holder in computer programming. He is a true embodiment of CPE. That is, he has completed PhD also from the University of Madras, and his doctorate thesis was on corporate governance and boardroom management, which is necessary now. He is a much in demand speaker, known for his systematic, lucid and articulate speaking. He is a visiting faculty with many institutions like Reserve Bank of India, Staff College, MOP Vaishnava College for Women, and Sangara Coaching Center, and many institutes, professional institutes as well. He was in the advisory committee of MOP Vaishnava College for Women, Commerce Department, Chennai, and member of Board of Studies of Ashram School of Law and Alagappa University in Corporate Secretaryship. He is the convener of Company Law Study Circle. He was the chairman of the Oral Coaching Committee of ICSI for 2 terms. He was a recipient of Best Speaker Award given by many institutions, including Chartered Accountant Study Circle, and he has received the Vocational Excellence Award from Rotary Club of Madras. He is an acknowledged authority on company law and has been the chairman of the Expert Committee on Company Law and Corporate Matters of many chambers of commerce, including Hindustan Chamber of Commerce, of which I am the president. He always play a sheet anchor role there. Madras Chamber of Commerce also, he is an advisor. He has presented papers and articles in various seminars organized by various institutions. With this prelude, I have great pleasure in presenting before you Mr. B. Ravi. I request our chairman to present a garland to him. You give a memento. Always said it is err in the right side of law. Like that, extra garland, no problem. Actually, nobody should go without that. And Mr. B. Ravi sir, please present your bill.
வருகை தந்திருக்கும் அத்துணை நல்ல உள்ளங்களுக்கும் இனிய மதிய வணக்கங்கள். It gives me immense pleasure to stand before the galaxy of professionals assembled here to share my thoughts on the Companies Act 2013 and its impact. In fact, in the very same room, I have discussed about this Companies Act right from the year 2003 when the concept was conceived, and also just before the delivery of the baby and after the delivery of the baby also. But after the baby is born only, I could really see the impact of it, and gives me a doubt whether it is a devil or a demon or an angel. So we are going to find out at the next 45 minutes whether this Companies Act 2013 is going to be a boon or a bane, or it is going to be really easing out what we are claiming. All those ingredients I am going to discuss, because today morning by about 8:30 or 9 only, Mr. Murali called me and said, sir, you have to speak on the Companies Act. So within a short span of time, I have to critically analyze it and try to come prepared to address the professionals assembled here. And what I know as a Companies Act and what it is today, and my little experience of 40 years in this profession, I am going to share with you. Sometimes it may look I am a little bit rude on certain provisions. Please pardon me, because that is a fact. Sometimes facts are not palatable, but still that is a fact. So you have to pardon me if I am a little bit rude on any particular provision. With this prelude, let me get on to the subject. There are some 20-25 slides only. I have been given 45 minutes. I will stop at 45th minute, sharp, right? With this. First one is the evolution. Just 2 minutes I'll spend on this evolution because that is very vital. Originally we were governed by the British law. Thereafter we thought we should have our own legislation to govern the companies in India. So we had the Indian Companies Act 1913. And after that, once the constitution is ready, we had our own Companies Act called as Companies Act 1956. So easily you can identify the word India will be missing. That's why it is called as Companies Act, because it is meant only for us. During the British regime, we used to have the prefix the Indian Companies Act 1913. Then we had the 1956 Act. Left to myself, this 1956 Act, the best legislation ever enacted by the Parliament. Very unfortunately, the government, in their own wisdom, thought it fit. We should try to change, because they thought after 50 years, anyone, like any family, After 50, 60 years, we thought he is no longer necessary. Right? But unfortunately, we have old age homes. For Companies Act, there is no old age home. So they started trying to meddle with it to repeal it. So in the process, already the Act has suffered 25 amendments, the 1956 Act. And after that, the government thought, based on the practices that are being followed in India and international practices that are there, and according to them, the representation made by the Chambers of Commerce, professional institutes and other stakeholders, they wanted to replace this 1956 Act with a new legislation with a very laudable objective called as simplification. This is the prime word they used. We would like to simplify the Companies Act because the Ramaya, every year the volume is getting on increase, we don't have place. So we thought at some point of time we will simplify the size of Ramaya edition itself. So 700 odd sections, let it be reduced. They did so. We should compliment because 720 has been reduced to some 470 sections or so. But have they really reduced? If you scan through it, I have shared this information here. They haven't. They tried to create an illusionary effect in the minds of everyone. The number game, 720 is reduced to 470, not 420. So reduced, but they did a 420 job there. What is that 420? What they did? 4 sections removed, made it as 1 section with the 10 subsections. This is what they call it a simplification. So the simplification, according to them, is to reduce the number, keep the impact as it is. To give you a live example, the number of directorships an individual can hold, which is governed under section 275 to 279, is brought under 1 section with a 10 subsection. Impact is same. Similarly, the provisions relating to additional director, casual vacancy, alternate director, which was dealt under 260, 262, 313, has been consolidated with 1 section with 6 subsection. No simplification. Same thing, the respective sections have been brought under 1 particular section. Probably the only advantage is by reading 1 section, you know all the provisions of reading 3 sections. But ultimately, have we really simplified? Is what we are going to see right through the slides, what I am going to explain to you. So the Companies Act 2013, according to the government, it is going to be a welcome measure. But according to me, left to myself, they would have achieved all these things with the 1956 Act itself, instead of trying to bring out a new legislation, making everyone to start from A for apple. Right? This first point, keep this in memory, plus you will be able to appreciate it at the last slide. Is there a need? Is the first question I asked. Why we require a change? Can you not get the very same change in the existing Companies Act? Have you done anything revolutionary under the 2013 Act? Nothing great you have done. All the provisions are there. You have added new concepts which can never be used. And you have brought in a new concept as if it is a new concept, it is already there. You have removed a few sections which are already dead letters, like managing agencies, secretaries and treasurers, which got abolished in the year 1970 itself. Even if you don't remove it, it is dead already. So what is the need to bring this legislation? According to them, we are falling in line with international practices. This is where they made the blunder. When you are talking about international practices, you shall not forget the ground reality of doing the business in India, which is woven with culture, heritage, emotions and sentiments. Our Indian business is totally different. And if you see, world over when the recession was there, Indian business stood because our fundamentals are strong. Because it is not business alone, sentiments and emotions are interlinked in that.